Hi guys, it's Nicole, and today I have another process video featuring the August 2020 Flavors of the Month kit from the Scraproom. So here you can see basically you get kind of like a sampling of supplies, 4 different paper lines, all in one kit shipped to your house. I was also sent the embellishment add-on, which you can see here, and some of the die cuts from kit to kit will vary because the Kit Club kind of splits up the embellishments, so you get a little bit of just kind of like a little sampling of some new lines to try out. So for today, I went with the Simple Stories Bro & Co. page kit, which came with 2 sheets of craft cardstock, 3 sheets of pattern paper, and as I'm going through them, I tend to flip them over so that the pattern that's face up is the one that I kind of gravitate towards. And no surprise to me, I was gravitating towards the B-sides for this collection. I just really like B-sides in general, and these ones I was really happy to see that they were actually completely different patterns. Some of the more recent Simple Stories B-sides have kind of been repeats of just different colors. The kit itself also came with a full 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and then this right here is from the embellishment add-on, which is half a package of their foam phrases. So that one would vary. And then I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So my fallback is to do what I used to do when I designed page kits and classes for a local store that has since closed, is I just kind of start doodling. I start kind of figuring out what paper I have and how I can kind of maximize things and just kind of get a game plan in this form, which I can erase and I can change, whereas once you cut paper, you're kind of committed. So a lot of times if I'm not really sure where I want my layout to go and I'm not already using a sketch or following a page kit or anything like that, this is kind of my go-to method, is I just start playing around and kind of making up my own little sketch or my own little diagram of where I want the layout to go. From there, I went and just used Photoshop Elements to edit my photos, and I print at home. And 2 of these I am going to later resize, just because at this point I was guessing on how big I would need the photos to be. Later I need to make one smaller, and then this one right here, which is just a Google image of the game that he was actually playing, I'm actually going to go back and reprint that a little bit bigger, which you'll see why here in a little bit. It was kind of getting lost. And from here, I just kind of started cutting strips of paper. So I took the 3 B-sides that I was liking, cut them down to 4 inches wide. 2 of them I cut down to, I believe, 11 inches, and one, the dark blue denim one, I think I did like 11 and a half. And I'm basically just going to kind of do, three little rows here and just kind of have basically 3 little columns. So almost like 3 little mini pages. And again, I'm not following a sketch. I'm not doing like a scrap lift or anything. I'm just kind of going with what I like. And here you can see that I'm trying to figure out where do I want to put the photos and where are they going to kind of be balanced. And I'm also making sure to check the 12 by 12 sticker sheet to make sure that anything on there that I want to incorporate, that I give myself the space for that. And then because there was 2 sheets of the craft cardstock, I went ahead and trimmed down 1/4 inch off 2 sides, and I gutted the middle. The reason that I gutted the middle is because it's going to be covered up by all the other layers, but I also wanted to do my journaling on that craft cardstock. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't need to pull from my stash, so I cut the middle out and I'm going to reserve it to do my journaling on. And then this Bro & Co. line from Simple Stories is very kind of just very boy-esque with the messiness and that kind of vibe to it. So I grabbed a distress tool and I'm just kind of messing up the edges of the craft layer that's going to go on the top. I decided not to ink anything at this point, which I'm going to regret later because I'm going to end up pulling it up. But I liked the fact that even though I was doing a single page layout, By doubling up the cardstock, it was going to add a lot of visual interest to it and also kind of use up the cardstock that was in the kit and just kind of using up a lot of the supplies. I definitely have a lot left over that I could make another single page layout simply by pulling some more base cardstock from my stash. And I may end up playing with that a little bit later in the month. I think I'm going to wait until I get all 3 process videos done and kind of go back and revisit what's left over and see what's left and see what I want to do. This layout and the Doodlebug barbecue layout I chose to do on my own. They only asked me to do the one video, which will go up on their channel. But when I was going through the kit, it was sort of this instant like, everything's cute, I want to use everything. And I really wanted to be able to share with you guys my experience with these kits, because lately I've just been pulling stuff from my stash and doing sketches or kind of trying to whittle down some page kits that I have in my stash as well. So I don't think I have a whole lot of experience in scrapbooking within these style of kits. And I was really impressed with how much time I saved. Normally I hem and haw and kind of go digging through my stash and looking for other things. Because I was sitting within a limited amount of items, it kind of helped me be a little bit more creative. And I mean, even just in creative usage of my paper and figuring out which embellishments I wanted to use and that kind of thing. Start to finish, this whole layout took me 45 minutes, and I was chatting with friends on a Zoom call. So I was really impressed just with how much it sped up my personal process, because I mean, you guys see a sped up version of what I do, but I am most of the time like turtle mode. I have a hard time making decisions, and then I tend to get up and go looking around for something else that's going to work better instead of just saying, make what you have work. So this was about when I was figuring out, okay, I need to change up some sizes of photos. I went ahead and put in my journaling so that I knew how much space that was going to take up. And again, this piece that I printed it on is just that middle section of the cardstock that I gutted. So was really glad to be able to kind of make things like that stretch. And then this is about the point when I was like, oh, I kind of want to ink the edges, and I kind of think that I need to resize some photos, which is kind of why I like printing at home, because if I need to change my mind about something like that on the fly, I can just go right back over. And so here I made the main photo a little bit smaller. Originally I had printed it out of 4x6, but then that denim panel was also 4 inches wide, so it was just kind of taking up, and I wanted to be able to use the white mat that just kind of is the photo paper. And then again, at this point, I haven't put down my photos because I'm not convinced that I like them where they are, basically. I pulled out a piece of wax paper and I had pulled off some stickers that I knew I wanted to go ahead and try to use on the layout. So I've got those over there, and I'm still just kind of thinking about things in my mind. I went ahead and resized this image of the game that he was playing, which, for context, these photos are right around when my son started getting into video games. This Lego Marvel Superheroes was the first one that he kind of really played by himself and just got it, and the bug kind of hit him. So I'm glad that I took these photos of him playing, because who would have known, 3 or 4 years later, how big of a video gamer he is. So I'm glad that I took them. And then because I only had a couple photos anyways, I went and pulled that image of the actual game from Google. From here, I took the striped pattern and ran it through my die cut machine with just a set of tags. Basically, I just wanted some more color and interest behind some of the photos. And I didn't want to like load it with a bunch of stickers. I wanted it to be a good mix of things. So for me, again, pattern paper is my favorite. So it was just kind of a good solution to use up some more of that pattern paper. And this one, I even went ahead and put it upside down just to kind of give it a little bit more interest. And then that was about the point when I realized that some of my patterns were getting a little bit lost. And so I decided to go ahead and ink the edges with black ink. I think normally my go-to is brown, but when a collection, especially like this, uses black in their color palette, I like to go ahead and ink everything with black. So I got lucky that I was able to pull everything up, ink the edges of everything, and then kind of put everything back down. So, and then make sure that you check out in the description box below. I'll post a bunch of links for where you can find the store site for the Kit Club. There's also a Facebook page, and then she also has a Facebook group where every month she posts different challenges. So there's usually like a sketch challenge, a formula challenge. I've seen like color challenges, just a bunch of different things. And you can actually, and you don't have to use her kits. You can make a layout, post it on there, and then she gives out prizes and stuff every month. And I have played along with I think it was the Freaky Fast Friday formula. It's a lot of F's. I played around with one of those last month, and I was actually surprised at how much I ended up liking the layout. So that's something that I kind of have in the back of my mind to kind of try every once in a while when I'm feeling stumped creatively, is to kind of go check out her challenges and see if there's anything in there that sort of sparks my interest. A lot of the sketches that she posts in the Facebook group are single page sketches. However, if you subscribe to the kits, you get access to recipes to make double page layouts with each of the 4 page kits. So basically her main design team, they take turns designing double page layouts that you have access to if you subscribe to the kits, so that you can go on there and you can get the recipe cards, which is basically step-by-step instructions to create the 4 double page layouts. And then she's got, I was looking in the store, there's cardstock add-ons, pattern paper add-ons, and then the embellishment add-on, which I had showed you guys a picture at the beginning. Just tons and tons of stuff. So definitely check out the description below for all of that. And then as far as embellishments, I just kind of went with the things that were standing out to me, which for this was a lot of stars, which kind of went with the game that he was playing. I cut up one of the borders and tucked it under my journaling. I used one of the smaller foam phrases up on the main photo, mostly just because I feel like I say dude to him all the time. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, we have to use that. The last thing that I did is I always try to go ahead and stamp the date on my layout so that I can go ahead and put it in my albums. So here are all of the photos and the detail shots. And again, I always appreciate you guys stopping by and spending some time with me. And I will catch you guys in another video shortly. Bye.